Welcome back. It is 1525. In the last one, we had Rowan be born. Basil became an infant. Felice finally developed feelings for Casper, but Gabriel has locked her away until her wedding to Alphonse because he doesn't want her to marry Casper because he's got nothing going for him. Um, yeah, and we also just have Gabriel and Elizabeth being very happy about all their boys. So this year, all their boys are going to roll for their lives. So no 8 or 16 for Rowan. Ooh, that was a little close, wasn't it? For Basil, no 7, 14, or 19. No, Basil. Oh my goodness, they are so unlucky. No 2, 4, or 6 for Blaze. Goth. You guys! Ah! Oh my gosh, you guys. So, this is important because it means that Alexander Goth the Fourth is the only boy. Like, he had a backup, and now he does not. Okay, so no 7 or 13 for Merrick Gamal, and then also Paulina Landgrab. And then will they get married? He will not. She will, and she will have 6 children. Wow, that's the second Gamal child that's rolled not to get married. So that's interesting. That is interesting. I think it was Paulina, wasn't it? Did I write that wrong? Um, so both, oh my gosh, wait, where are they? Hold on. No, that's Gainsford. Yeah, so both of these 2 kids have rolled not to get married. We're going to lose the Gamal family name. Wow. Okay. I guess blue is back in. Let's go back to here. The Gamal family is no longer blue. But I guess that does mean we have some colors open because maybe we could... I don't know. Should we give Felice a color? Well, we'll have to give Cesaria a color and also Olivia a color. I don't know. I'll think about it. Although, who knows? Maybe they'll marry into other families that we already have. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So let's hop into the game. All right, so here we are in our household, and of course there's a fire because there's literally always a fire in this house. I do not know why. I think that so there was like the one fire, and then I think that when they're afraid of fire, it then makes there be more fires somehow. But, mainly my concern is that the fire doesn't get down into the basement because I really don't want to deal with that. But yeah, I don't even know what's burning in here, but apparently a lot of stuff is. So we had Elizabeth take care of that. We're also taking care of the baby. So we actually are, on this first day here, going to age up the children. So Rowan is going to age up into an infant, and then we're going to get a cake for Basil. He is supposed to die this year, but we're going to make him a toddler first. We'll see if we can plead for him, see what happens there. I know I've been waffling on whether or not I should plead for Sims or not, but sometimes like in this case, there's not a big deal about pleading or not. But with Diana, I just felt like it was appropriate to have her just pass away. But anyway, Felice is still locked in her room because she has been locked there until she is ready to get married because they caught her with Casper and they don't want her to marry Casper, so they are forcing her to be locked away until she gets married to Alphonse. Oh my gosh, look at that cute baby. Okay, so Basil has aged up. I don't know what is all over him, but we are going to age him up, and then we're going to say goodbye. So let's have him die. And we'll get the Grim Reaper here to plead. I'm also going to call over the group because technically we need to age up Felice as well. She needs to age up into a young adult so that she can get married. Also, I'm going to put her on the thing. the spreadsheet. Anyway, so we're pleading with Grimm, and luckily it actually worked. So Basil survived, which is really nice. We are doing really well with the air thing. I'm really grateful for that. But yeah, so I was going to have Gabriel plead, but apparently he has a fear of death, so he can't plead with the Grim Reaper. So then I had Elizabeth come and plead, and it worked, so that's good. And then yes, Felice needs to age up, and she did, and she is now a young adult so that she can get married. I did add her to the tree, and eventually I did change her color. So since we know that blue is not going to persist in the Gamal family, since both of those boys have rolled to not have children, what I'm going to do is give Felice and the Light family the new color blue. Actually, let me double check. Let me go here. But yeah, so both Gamal boys have rolled to not get married. So we are going to give the color blue to Felice. And I was kind of debating whether or not I wanted to use a color on her, but I'm okay with that. I'm actually only planning on getting her pregnant with one boy. So my plan is that, like, you know, the Light children were twins, and apparently twins like runs in that family or whatever. So I'm gonna choose her pregnancy, and she's gonna be pregnant with twins, a boy and a girl. And you know what? If the blue dies out, it dies out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But what I am having her do here is she's going to change colors, since that color is now available. If the color wasn't available, I probably wouldn't do it, because I do want to save colors for our daughters, because we do have a few daughters that are going to need their own colors, like Cesaria, Olivia, Rosamund. Maybe they'll marry into families that are like our family, though, so maybe that'll be fine. I haven't decided yet whether I'm going to give all of Elizabeth's children their different colors and stuff. I'm not really sure yet. It's kind of tough to decide. Anyway, we're going to try and get pregnant again. We just want to have as many babies as possible. That is the goal for this year. This like generation is for Gabriel to have 1 billion children. So, yes, so we are focusing on that. I'm trying to now start getting the toddler skills up. So Basil will start getting his skills up. We're also sort of working on the motor aspiration for Gabriel II. I'm not like committed to it, but it is something that we are doing. And then we are just going to stack, stack, stack. Yes, so the Larkin family hopefully will have a wide presence around for generations to come, so far with 4 boys. But anyway, we have Elizabeth talking to Felice and basically being like, you know, you're going to get married to Alphonse today. You better go through with it. Like, this is what's best for our family, and yada, yada. So she is having this big conversation, and Felice is just like going downstairs to cry. It's very sad. I don't know why they get sad moodlets if the Grim Reaper failed to reap the sim. Like, I feel like that shouldn't happen, but okay. And then, yeah, I'm grinding on those toddler skills as well. But yes, we're having Felice get married today. She has finally realized her love for Casper, but unfortunately he is not someone that her parents are going to allow her to marry. So that is definitely something that she's going to struggle with, being married to someone else. And I'm not saying she doesn't like Alphonse. She does. And they get along really well, and they have a really good relationship, and everything is actually pretty excellent with them. But, you know, she that's not what she wants. Like, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like Bridgerton season 3 part 1 where like she could marry the other guy, but it's just not the same. It's not that love, passion, romance thing. Like, it's just, it'd be comfortable, it'd be good. Or even in Bridgerton season 1 with the prince, like, she would have been happy, but, you know. So anyway, moving right along, we are going to actually have the wedding. So they are getting married. They are super sweet, actually. I think Alphonse really does like her and is really actually happy to be getting married. So it's kind of sad that she was potentially going to leave him for Casper. But, you know, I think that the problem is she feels like she needs to kind of put up a certain front if she's going to be a queen, she needs to like act like a queen. She can't be going around talking to herself. She can't do this. She can't do that. And so I think that she just feels kind of stifled, like she's putting on a front. And with Casper, she never felt like that. She always felt like she could just be herself and that he wouldn't judge her and everything. So that's where all that is going. But anyway, we are going to then we'll move them in together, and I'll eventually change their color. I didn't change it at first, but I will. And then we're going to get her pregnant. Yeah, she's like running away crying in the bathroom at her wedding. This is just very sad. But everyone else is having a good time, is excited. Gabriel's actually being like, I mean, Gabriel's responsible for Cassandra's children. He loved his older sister very much. And so, he is going to take good care of the Gamal children, regardless of, their status from their father. I mean, he allowed Cassandra to marry her lifer, so, that was something he allowed. So he must have known that the children weren't going to have like a great status or anything, because knight status doesn't pass on generationally. But anyway, so now we're back home. Felice has now gone to her marital home. She is pregnant. She is, there she goes. So her story is, of course, not over, but we will revisit her later. We are going to... Why are you guys over here? I started adding furniture to another apartment for us, but I never separated it as another apartment. So that's my fault that they keep going over there. But anyway, we are going to have them try for a baby again. I really want to get her pregnant, but for some reason it's really hard to get her pregnant. Like, I have to try to get her pregnant. But anyway, okay, Elizabeth is going to train the baby. Is that the right word? But teach the baby. What's kind of annoying though is I feel like if she is helping the child learn skills, that she should be increasing her parenting skill. Like, this should increase her parenting skill, doing blocks with him, but it doesn't, which is really annoying. But we have gotten to check off the have a child with 3 traits thing in her aspiration. So we're actually really close to completing her aspiration. So I hope that we can do that. We just need to get one more level up, and then we can get one more level up and then go to full parent mode, and then we're good. So hopefully that all works out. And then like I said, we're working a little bit on the motor skill as well for Gabriel. So he's going to get all playful, and then he's going to go play on the jungle gym. So he's going to go off and do that. Here he goes. I think it'd be fun, maybe on a nice sunny day, which today is not, is to have a water balloon fight out there with the kids club. That could be fun. And then I don't know what we're going to do when Gabriel II gets married and his dad still has a bunch of young children. Maybe I'll have Gabriel II move into one of the apartments until his father passes. That happens, I think. When I was reading the Bridgerton books, a lot of the men had their own separate lodgings. Even the heirs had their own separate lodgings when their fathers were alive. So perhaps we'll move out with Gabriel II until, it's time to move back into his ancestral home. I don't know, but we'll see. Gives them a little more freedom, although I suppose he could stay, but we don't really have enough room in the house to also have him having babies. But all of this is kind of unnecessary because he's not aging up into a young adult for quite some time. But anyway, we're going to have a ball next. Actually, let me check when is his birthday. Well, it looks like Caesarea is aging up into a teen next year, which is nice. But yeah, and then the 2 Gabriels have their birthday the same year, so we'll kind of see where that goes. Whether or not, I don't know why I put Mary ? After Gabriel, because he is getting married. Anyway, so I'm going to come back to the ball, which we're having. We're having a ball. I'm going to have everybody dance together, have a good time, spend some time together leisurely, where I'm not okay, what's next on my list to get done with these people? No, we're going to just enjoy and spend some time together. Obviously, we see Casper here sitting next to Felice, but also Alphonse is at that table as well. So he's probably just trying to be close to her. He's obviously moping around. Look at how sad he is. So he is kind of sad that, she ended up getting married to someone else. Maybe they're sneaking glances at each other from across the room. Oh, that's sweet. Elizabeth and her son took a dance. But yeah, so Casper is, having a hard time just watching Felice from afar. And she is pregnant. She is, spending time with her husband and, um, you know, maybe also stealing glances at Casper from across the room. So, yeah, it's tough when things like that happen, but she didn't really have a choice. And maybe Casper thinks that she just left him, so maybe she is trying to signal to him that it's not that she didn't want to be with him, it's that her family wouldn't let her. So that is definitely a possibility. The ball is now over. So we're just going to hang out a little bit more with some of the family members and then try to get everybody to go home. Of course, they won't. They're just not listening to me and queuing up a billion things, so that's totally fine. But let's head home for real. And then, here we are. Okay, so we're here at home. It is still early, so I'm going to have all the children come over and play and have Cesaria become friends with, I think it's Venetia Gainsford, who is the new child in the child club. So they are going to, be friendly with each other and chatting and getting to know each other. Of course, she wants to be friends with all of the cool kids. But the toddler's in there working on his toddler skills as well. And yeah, so everything's going pretty well. Cesaria is definitely the queen bee of the children right now. Obviously, we'll see if that persists. We also need to add Gabriel to some clubs, but actually it looks like all number 2 is now full. So we're going to go back to all number 1. I'm just going to keep filling up those 2 clubs. Hopefully we don't get more than 100 Sims in a club at any time. That would be way too many. If that's the case, I might have to start culling some Sims because while I did change the neighborhood or the manage worlds, whatever, to be unlimited, because I have a better computer now. I feel like it runs better. I can add a few more Sims. But while I did that, I still don't, I don't want to have too many Sims. I don't want to have to worry about having so many of them to keep track of, especially the townie Sims. So anyway, like I said, I am giving them blue, and then I don't know why I didn't have him ever wearing a crown. He looks weird with a beard, so I'm just not going to give him one. But yes, so we're going to change his outfits, and then we're going to change her outfits. I'm going to give her a little a crown for her formal wear because, of course, now she is a queen. So she is a queen, and she is beauty, and she's grace. I have the hat slider, but I honestly cannot figure out how to use it. I can't figure it out, so you'll have to forgive me, but I just don't know what I'm doing with it. So I don't know how to move all these crowns down on her head, so I'm just going to have to pick one and then change her hairstyle to reach the crown. Also, this is a great opportunity to use some of the jewelry that I can't use because it's either too fancy or the wrong color. So I'm excited to use some of this. So anyway, that's where we're at. I guess we'll use this one, and then I'll just give her a higher hairstyle that sort of meets it. We'll take a picture. She is gorgeous, of course. And then this is actually where I've wrapped up for that day. I was like, I'm tired. I have to go to bed. So the next part of the video is the next day, but also I did update the family tree and stuff off camera, so that's why you didn't see it. Anyway, now we're going to go visit Eleanor. So we're visiting Eleanor. She is still hanging out with Thomas and Odelgard. She has learned a lot about vampires. It's been another year, she's spent her time here and away and, away from her children and all that stuff. And I'm just realizing how actually cool this build is. Look at this basement with like the double floors and the open. Anyway, it's super cool. So I'm going to have them chat with each other. And basically, they're having this conversation. And Eleanor's kind of like talking about, her life, her family, her children, how she kind of misses her. She misses her children. She misses, she's sad she doesn't get to see them grow up and stuff. And she, feels a little guilty about, pursuing her own dreams and leaving them behind with their father. And Thomas is like, he understands leaving behind your family, although he left his behind when they were adults. But he's like, look, it's hard to walk away from your family and do what's right for you, but that doesn't mean that you'll never see them again or you won't be in touch with them or whatever. Like, you can see your children again. And she's just basically saying, I don't think that that's going to happen because my husband will probably never ever allow it. So Thomas is like, well, if you outlived him, it would be fine. And he kind of offers to her, if you wanted to become a vampire, like, so she's been here and she's been able to, do her night training and she's been able to start pursuing her dreams. But of course, she can't do it openly. And so he basically tells her, well, if you become a vampire, you can live longer and then you can re-enter society later. And if you decide to do that, you can be an official knight and no one will know who you were, so it won't be a big deal and everything. And so she agrees to become a vampire because it'll also make her stronger and like all this stuff. And also, she's kind of gotten really close with the other vampire family as well. She's been very close to all of them, and she feels like that this is a good option for her and her future. And, she thinks about how maybe in however many years, once Nicholas dies, she could see her children again and all this stuff. So she is definitely excited about that. They're going to dance. I was also going to have her chat a little bit with Vlad the Fifth. So, of course, she's going to tell him that she's becoming a vampire. They're very excited over it. They've become pretty good friends in the last year or two. So they've become pretty good friends. I mean, she spent like a whole year with him before she even met Thomas. So it's been like 2 years since then. So they're pretty close, and, they have all the time in the world. But I think eventually I might marry her to him. But anyway, we're going to start wrapping up. So we're going to head back to our main household, and then we are going to, grind on the toddler skills and stuff while we are updating pictures and also Sims outfits. That's what I'm looking for. I'm like, what am I talking about? Okay, so yes, we did lose Blaze Goth. He passed away. Rowan and Basil Larkin both aged up, which is excellent. Basil survived. Merrick Gamal and Paulina Landgrab are now both teenagers, and that's actually all the birthdays we had. It was a light birthday year for us, so that is really exciting and good for us. I am looking forward to what comes next. Let's see what's going next. Caesarea Larkin is aging up into a teenager next year. I love that because I feel like she's going to have the messiest teenage life. I love that for her so much. And then Rosamund Landgrab. Oh, our Rosamund, who's now Rosamund Larkin, is aging up into a child along with Levada Gainsford. Rowan is becoming a toddler. Oh my gosh, so Nicholas and Eleanor were supposed to have birthdays next year, but Eleanor is not going to have a birthday because she's a vampire now. So Nicholas Gainsford, I guess, he's having a birthday next year, so maybe it was a moot point because if he dies, then I guess it doesn't matter. But she wouldn't know that. She's already decided to stay away. And then it looks like Randolph Landgrab II is finally dying next year. He has lived forever. Let me see how long he has lived for. Randolph Landgrab has lived since 1465. This guy is just living forever. He is so old. Those Landgrab genes are strong. So finally Albert will be becoming the Baron. So finally that's going to happen for Albert. Good for him. I think he still gets to live for a little while longer. Is he not even a young adult? No, that's the other Albert. I don't know. Anyway, I'll follow up on that. But I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. Very exciting. And I'll catch you in the next one.